What up, YouTube? It's your boy Esaveo back again with another video. Today we are doing a concert review for the band Stand Atlantic. I wanted to film this review last night, but I ended up going to another concert, which I will actually be making a review on as well. So this band I had actually never heard of before. I got invited to this concert by these two beautiful people, and they are really big fans of this band, and they asked me if I wanted to go. So this is my first experience seeing any of these bands live. Coming into the concert itself, I actually got to listen to the band a little bit on the way to the venue, so I wasn't completely green when I walked in the door. The concert was in a venue called the Crescent Ballroom, which has a capacity of 550 people. I'd never been there before, but it's like a cool little venue. It's attached to like the back of a restaurant. So to get into the venue, you have to walk through the restaurant, and then like it's like a back showroom in the back of the restaurant. I don't know, it was weird, but it was cool. When we showed up, my friends immediately walked to the merch table. This is what their merch table looked like. They had this really cool shirt, which I was super tempted to buy, but because this was an unexpected concert, I didn't exactly have merch money in my budget, but that's really good marketing. First opener was a 4-piece band from LA called Point North. I had never heard of this band before, but they were really good. They reminded me of that pop punk band. They had the look, they had the sound. I kept saying to my friend, this band reminds me of a band I've seen before, but I can't put my finger on it. They just look like a pop punk band you would see at a dive bar. I can't really say too much about their musicality from the standpoint of they only played about 4 or 5 songs, and again, I'd never heard them before, so I didn't get to listen to them beforehand, but from what I heard, they were pretty good. Their rhythm guitarist was spinning and twirling and bouncing around the stage, and yeah, I got hungry just watching him. Their drummer was super great, easily the best musician in their band, and he might have been the best drummer of the night, which we will get into a little bit later, but definitely a really great drummer. One cool thing that Point North was doing was every once in a while in their songs, on the downbeat, they would do this jump spin move, and it was coordinated, the singer, both guitarists, because this band actually didn't have a bass player, which I thought was really weird. I haven't seen a band in a long time without a bass player, but the people who I was with, they're like, oh, bands don't have bass players all the time. But I haven't personally seen a band in a minute that didn't have a bass player, but this band didn't. But they would all just like jump and spin, and that was cute. Nah, but it was a cool little thing, you know, adding a little extra spice to the show. They actually told us that they had just gotten signed. Congratulations to them. I wish them the best of luck. The band after this was a band that I believe is called Wester. I know it's spelled W-S-T-R. I was hearing some people say the band's name, but I can't remember exactly how they pronounced it. But it's a word, it's not an acronym. So I'm just gonna refer to them as Wester. If it's wrong, I'm sure you guys will correct me in the comment section. But this band was from England, and so the singer had a British accent, and that was unexpected, but also the next 2 bands are both from Australia, so it's not like all the bands at this show were American in the first place. But it was a nice little like, oh, hey, that's cool. The lead singer was this like 5'6" dude with a barbed wire necklace tattoo and a fishnet shirt on. So when he came out, I was like, whoa, what we got here? But he could actually sing. The band reminded me of kind of like a Blink-182 vibe. And I enjoyed it. The bass player, who was to the right of the singer, so he was on the opposite side of the stage from where I was standing, he looked super hardcore, dressed in all black, had the tattoos, whatever, just like going hard. The singer was maybe a foot shorter than the bass player, twirling around the stage. I don't know, it just was like a cool dichotomy between the two, and I thought it looked interesting. I don't know if they don't have a drummer or if something happened to their drummer, but the drummer from the last band also played for this band as well. And in their songs specifically, he played really good. And I heard him play with two different bands who played not completely different styles of music, but different kinds of songs. And so I got to see a more versatile skill set from him, and I thought it was really good. Back to Wester. The lead singer did this thing during one of his songs that I call the Freddie Mercury. Now, I'm sure plenty of other people have done it. Probably other people did it before Freddie Mercury. But for me, the first person I ever saw do it was Freddie Mercury, which is where you pick up the mic stand and you like hold it out over the crowd as they sing. And I thought that was really cool because, one, people lost their minds and started singing super hard when he did that. But also, I don't like watching bands that just stand there. Like, don't sing at me, don't play at me, play to me. I feel like it's very important that musicians interact with their audience and engage their audience, because you're not in the studio. There are people who paid to come see you play and might not again if you bore them by just standing there and playing music at their face. This band didn't do that. At least not the singer, because he was very much animated. He was engaged. He was singing to the crowd. He was singing to specific people. He was jumping up and down, twirling, bouncing. It's just interesting to watch, because at a concert is part visual and part sonic. And you can be good all day, but if you're boring, then people won't remember you. But I will remember this band, partly because the singer was so animated. The next band was a band called the Faim, spelled F-A-I-M. I'm not Australian, so I don't know if that means something, if that's a reference to something. If it is, again, I'm sure you'll let me know down in the comment section down below. Cool name though. I liked it. I think they might have been co-headlining because their set list was really long, but I'm not sure. I will probably include them in the title of this video, because if they are co-headlining, I don't want to diss them just because I didn't know, because I didn't pay for this concert. But regardless, they performed a bunch of songs, like 15 or 16, and they were really, really good. Now, they sounded a lot like Fall Out Boy, and the two friends who I was with also agreed with me on that. I don't think it's bad to sound like another band, especially a band that's much bigger than you and came out way before you, because everyone draws inspiration from somewhere, but it was uncanny. It was like immediate. 30 seconds of the first song, I was like, whoa, they sound a lot like Fall Out Boy. The lead singer was super intense. Now, I don't know if he was high, I don't know if he was drunk, I really don't care, it doesn't matter. But he made a bunch of really intense funny faces and did this thing where he would like grab the mic stand and like shake it really hard while he was singing, and I laughed. I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, probably not, I don't know, but I laughed and it was enjoying to watch. And their other musicians were all entertaining in their own kinds of way. Their guitarist was this like small little dude who was like shredding over there. He looked like a skater boy, really. He looked like a kid who only did two things, and that's play guitar and skate, and he's really, really good at playing guitar, so if someone sends me a video of him doing an ollie or a kickflip or something, I wouldn't be surprised. But he was just over there vibing. He wasn't super animated, but he played so well that it was kind of hard not to notice him, which is a good thing in its own right. And it completely goes against everything I've said in this video so far, but he was good. Their drummer was also good, and at one point for a couple of their songs was playing a drum machine on the side of his drum set. I thought that was really cool because I don't see that very often. So for him to switch back and forth between his kit and the drum machine was a nice little touch. The person I'm going to spend the most time talking about in this segment of the video is the bass player, because he was really great. He was super animated. Now, again, he was right in front of me, so I could see a lot of the stuff that he was doing. He was also a multi-instrumentalist, and as a multi-instrumentalist myself, I love that. I know how difficult it is to play one instrument well, let alone multiple, and he played the bass as well as playing the keys for multiple of their songs, and in multiple of their songs he played both sometimes at the same time. And for one of their songs, the bass player and the guitarist actually switched. So the guitarist started playing the bass and the bass player slash keyboardist was playing the keyboard. And I thought that was really cool. The guitarist wasn't playing the bass like at some like mind-blowing level, but it wasn't bad. He was definitely good enough that if I had only seen him play the bass, I would definitely believe that he was their bass player. So they played this song called Million Stars, and it was just a super cool vibe because everyone took out their phones, turned their flashlights on, they were waving them back and forth. I wasn't. I was damn near on the stage trying to videotape this so you guys could see it. Hope you enjoy it. For another one of their songs, their singer actually jumped off stage and started moshing in the middle of the crowd with the fans. And that was super cool. Again, I love audience interaction. The fans are the reason why we as musicians can even do what we do. And so I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It was a nice little experience that I don't think any part of that mosh will forget for a long time. The next band was Stand Atlantic themselves. I had listened to like 5 of their songs on the way to the show, but they were good. They were really good. Their singer came out and she was gorgeous. I was later told by one of my beautiful friends that she has a girlfriend, but it doesn't matter. She was gorgeous, and she came out for the first song or two, and she just sung. And then they handed her a guitar and she played rhythm guitar for basically the rest of the show. And I thought that was super cool because, again, I know how hard it is to sing and do anything else, let alone sing and play. So kudos to her for that. Their lead guitarist had a interesting outfit on. that's... Yeah, But the dude could play, so all respect to him. And I actually ended up talking to him after the show for like half a second, and he seemed super chill. Their drummer was super good looking, like surprisingly good looking. He looks like what I would want to look like if I was white, just minus the 80s porn star mustache that he was rocking. But he seemed like pissed off like the whole show. He had like a super stoic, like resting bitch face as he was playing, which I don't know. Stuff happens. He might have been upset, or that might have just been his face. He played well, he sounded good, and he looked good, but he also looked upset. So yeah, I've never seen them before in person. Never watched any of their music videos. So I don't know if that's just his style, if that's just his face, or if something was going on in his life. Either way, wish him the best. Hope he cuts his mustache, because yeah. But overall, he did a really good job. The bass player, who I later found out his name was Mickey. Mickey was a bro. He was my favorite member of the band. 1, because he was right in front of me, and 2, because he was just super chill. Again, I talked to him the most out of any band member that night, and he was just super cool. He was super chill, just a good mate. At one point, he put a pick in some dude's hair in the front row, and the guy seemed super confused, but I thought it was hilarious, and like I think I laughed a little too hard. He had a line of picks on his mic stand, so he just pulled out another pick, started playing with that. Once I realized, oh, he has a line of picks on his mic stand, as soon as that song finished, I motioned to him like, hey Mickey, give me your pick. Give me your pick. And he did. And that was super cool. That's probably my favorite pick now. Okay, it's not my favorite pick, but it's definitely my favorite story of how I got a pick, because it was just super cool. You just like, it's like, oh, you want my pick? Here. Like, flicked it to me. At one point, she was having technical difficulties with her mic. Something was happening where, I don't know, something happened with her mic. And the lead singer of Wester jumped up on stage and started singing for her until her mic got, you know, recalibrated or whatever the case was. Maybe it was a loose mic cord, I don't know. But he just hopped on stage like super quick, started singing for her. I thought that was super cool, and it was like a genuinely like good heartfelt moment, because as soon as she saw him hop on stage, she was like, thanks, I can let them work on this and I can just, you know, rock out and jam. And so they had like a cool collaborative moment. Speaking of collaborative moments, they actually had a couple of those in their set. At one point, the bass player from the Faim, which was the one who was playing the keyboard, he hopped up on their stage and played the keyboard for a song that I believe was called Toothpick. It was just her, the guitarist playing the guitar, and the bass player from the Faim playing the keys in the background, and it was like a nice heartfelt moment. She told us about how she wrote it one day when she was like sad in her room. She just wanted to write a song, as most creative people do. You know, most great art comes from great emotion, and that's not always good emotion, but I'm really happy something good came out of it. The song sounded great, and it was a cool little collaborative moment when he hopped on there. For a completely different song, he actually played the bass for them, and the bass player Mickey played his keyboard, and so it was just like a cool little jam session together. last thing I want to talk about from their set was the fact that they actually called a fan up on stage. Now, this fan was actually standing right next to me, and was standing right next to me from the very beginning of the show, so I actually got to talk to her for a while, and basically found out that she is their #1 stan, their absolute super fan. She flew down from Alaska a couple times to see them on their first American tour. She does covers of their songs on YouTube. If you type in Stand Atlantic covers, you can probably find her. I wasn't able to get her YouTube channel name though, but if she watches this, go ahead, plug your channel down in the doodly-doo comment section down below. But they called her up on stage, and for their biggest song, which was also my favorite song that they played, which was Coffee at Midnight, they had her play the lead singer's guitar, and I just thought it was really cool. She seemed a little bit nervous at first, but definitely caught the vibe and just started rocking out and jamming. It was just a generally good vibe. And everyone was like, whoa, this is so crazy, this is happening. I've seen bands call fans on stage before. I have never seen a band know the fan by name. And so it was just like a generally heartfelt moment. And everyone was like, whoa, that was super cool. She's a huge supporter of this band. And for them to show her some love back, I thought was really great. And the epitome of what you're supposed to be as a musician. After the show, we stuck around a bit, and my friends bought not just some of their merch, but also a copy of their latest project, which was Skinny Dipping. And they bought the vinyl and the CD. And so they're like, hey, wouldn't it be really cool if we could get it signed? And I was like, yeah, let's do that, because I'm that friend in the group. So, of course, we sat around and we waited. And we waited. And we waited. And they were in the back. And at one point, my friends were like, hey, we should probably just leave. They're probably not going to come out. And I was like, no, we're not leaving. We're getting your stuff signed. So maybe 5 more minutes goes by. And wouldn't you know it, Mickey, the bass player, comes out the back. And I immediately grab their stuff. And I walk up to him. I'm like, hey, dude, can you sign this? And like the truest of bros, he's like, oh yeah, and signed it immediately without hesitation. And you know, we talked for like half a second, and then he pointed me in the direction of the next band member, which was the guitarist. He was like packing up chords and stuff at the end of the show as they were breaking down the stage, and I kind of just walked up to him. I didn't really wait. I probably should have waited, but I didn't, because I was like, we've been waiting for this long. Might as well take my opportunity. Walked up to him, was like, hey, can you sign this? At this point, I already have the Sharpie because stole it from Mickey. Sorry, bruh. And he was super cool. He signed it as well. Walked over, got the drummer's signature, and now I was 3 for 4. So I was like, oh, we're definitely not leaving now, because, well, we got to get all 4 of the band members to sign this. And so we waited. And we waited some more. And even I got to the point where I was like, man, she's not about to come out, guys. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you're just gonna have to get this 75% because we're not gonna be able to get her signature. And as soon as I said that, she walked out, which I was like, oh, she's here. And I literally did just that and almost dropped the vinyl on the floor, but I caught it. Cat-like reflexes. And I immediately dart over to her. I think she was like heading towards the bathroom. I don't know. I didn't care because I was like, I'm getting this signature. And I got their stuff signed, and it was super cool. And I was really just happy to kind of be a part of that. Personally, I don't have any signed stuff from any of my favorite artists, because a lot of my favorite artists are pretty big time, which means I'd have to pay hundreds of extra dollars just to get any type of meet and greet with them, which your boy ain't got that money. So I don't have any of that stuff, so to be able to do that for them, I thought was a really cool moment. And for all the band members to be super chill and took a picture with one of my friends afterwards, and it was just generally a good vibe. And we left the show all smiles on our faces, talking about how great of a night that we had. So to Stand Atlantic, to the Faim, to Wester, I believe, I'm sorry if I've been pronouncing your name wrong, and to Point North, I want to thank you guys for giving us this great night. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to come to Phoenix and put on one heck of a performance. So I wish you guys the best on the rest of your tour. Safe travels back to wherever in the world you may be going next, and have a great day. Peace.